Yeah, to check out more episodes of the Rap Radar Podcast, what they got to do, B-Dot?
It's easy. Sign up at tidal.com/on-air for your 3-month complimentary membership.
Yo, man, you'll get access to over 48 million songs, tons of videos, exclusive concert live streams, and so much more, man.
Yep.
What's the address again, B-Dot?
Tidal.com/on-air.
Yeah. Yeah, Rap Radar Podcast, Elliot Wilson.
B-Dot.
B-Dot, what's up, baby?
Man, I'm feeling like cut off khakis, French braids, and house shoes and shit.
We only go to California to talk to special individuals, man. You know, we touched that Malibu with Hova.
Yep.
And we right in the pit, man, with Nip Hustle. What's up, Nipsey?
Yeah, we on Crenshaw and Slauson at the Marathon Store. Rap Radar Podcast. I must have done something right, man.
So we got to bring our business to your business.
Yeah,
Word up.
definitely.
The business is booming.
This is booming, man. Yo, you moving, even while we was trying to set up for the interview, man. People come here, they actually be copping the goods,
either,
man.
You know what I'm saying? I wasn't playing. I was just, we was talking about tourism a little earlier. You know what I mean? A lot of like artists and everybody know that coming here is supporting hustle also. So, you know what I mean? That happened just naturally around the clock. We just happened to be here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For this one.
It's almost like fellow artists feel like they got to, when they come to LA, they pay their respects almost to see what this is about and support you.
To a degree, and then also want to come check it out and probably just curious because they seen the grand opening or heard that we have a store over here. And then probably a combination of everything, trying to support, curiosity, and then also being from out of town, you want to come to LA, the other LA aside from like Hollywood and you know what I mean?
Because we were telling where we at, baby.
We ground zero. We on Crenshaw and Slauson at the Marathon Store in the Crenshaw district, you know.
That Fat Burger's looking nice next door.
Yeah, definitely.
That's
definitely.
you too?
Yeah, we involved in that, yeah.
You say you're trying to buy the whole block, literally, right?
Yeah, eventually. That'll be the goal, you know.
Well, we're gonna get to the music return. I mean, that's why we're here. We're excited. But like, what is this? Why is this store so important to you? I mean, a lot of business moves. Like, what's so important about this foundation, this store?
Well, this is where really the Nip Hustle story, as far as doing music, started. Just as far as me like selling my mixtapes out the trunk in that parking lot, and even before the music, just hustling out the parking lot, and then making my transition to selling my music. You know what I mean? To my clientele, and you know, becoming known as an artist, just a young up and coming street artist, and then all of the levels that we've went up and just all the transitions since then. So it's a story connected to this space. Even before the store, just the actual geography, the parking lot, you know, and you know, we've been on many levels in this parking lot. It always been a pull up at 8 o'clock, leave at 10. It just been for different reasons, you know, since I was probably like 14.
Right.
Yeah.
Where does hustle acumen come from? Because it's like you're very business minded. You know, obviously it's your name, but like, was it ingrained in you as a child or?
Yeah, you know, my brother was always a hustler. You know what I mean? So I, as a little brother, you're gonna do what your big brother do, and then also just being in a situation where we needed to kind of like compensate. You know what I mean? And make up for like, you know what I mean, things that we felt we should have that we didn't, you know? Yeah.
No, but it's strange. Obviously, like before, like you always say, like you was a young cat. You see you with the Cuban link chain and stuff like that. Now, obviously, you was living life on the street and doing the street things. But like, I never really realized why rap. Why was rap? You think you're calling? Like, why was the music? What drew you to the music that you felt like you could be a hip hop artist?
Man, you know, I thought I was gonna be like Criss Cross, bro. Really, I thought I was gonna be like a young artist signed when I was a little kid. I was rapping when I was little. You know what I mean? Like, and I thought I could get, you know, noticed as like a 12-year-old, 11-year-old little kid, and I got frustrated when I didn't get, you know what I mean, turn into Bow Wow, and I was like, fuck that, you know what I'm saying? No disrespect to Bow Wow, I fuck with Bow Wow, but just being a young artist, I mean, that got noticed as a young age and got on.
So you was bold, you would just step out and spit for everybody?
No, I wouldn't spit for nobody, but in my mind, I'm like, somebody should notice that I'm rapping and pick me up. But I was writing raps and like, you know, just, I guess when I was probably 8, 9, my goal was that by the time I'm 12, 13, I'll be signed and cracking as a little kid artist. And when I wasn't, I was like, fuck rap, you know what I'm saying? I'm about to, I ain't gonna just say hustle, but I'm about to explore more realistic pursuits. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, so music was the first dream, and when that didn't work out at that young age, it drew you to go to the other side and take the
or just when I started trying to put it together, like, how do you rap? Oh, you gotta get a studio, You got, how much is studio equipment? Damn, this shit is expensive. Like, I used to go to my homie Jermaine's house across the street, and we'd build a studio in the backyard with no equipment. We'd just be clearing the dirt. Like, you know what I'm saying? Sweeping the backyard up, like, we're gonna build it right here. And then, all right, it should be like 8 feet this way. You know what I'm saying? But just like realizing, damn, we don't have the capacity to do this. You know what I mean? We're gonna have to get money to do this. We can't just wing it off a dream. You know what I mean? And then going into the field and seeing what, you know, that was about, drew me further and further from music, and kind of like made me question, like, even if that was something to go back into, and even if it was possible, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
And you started engineering your own music. Was it like out of necessity, right?
Yeah. Once I got into it and like ran my little checkup to where I could invest and buy some equipment, yeah, I started engineering myself because I ain't have an engineer, and we wasn't having salaries to pay engineers like that. So, you know, I had to learn how to record. And so I used to run from the mic back to the console, press record on the Pro Tools, run back to the mic, lay my little verse, run back, stop it.
Wow.
But it made me record a certain way too, because it was like, you know, I'll be really focused on getting the take right, because I ain't feel like keep doing this shit over and over.
Like a lot of takes.
Yeah, and then it's different when you got to stop it yourself. You take your mind out of creative mode and you kind of get in like mechanical mode.
You listening to yourself almost,
Yeah,
like
and then
critiquing yourself.
Yeah, and then you just doing rewind and playback. That type of thought process is different than like fishing for words and trying to like tap into a cadence. It's a different part of the brain. So it kind of conflict doing both. So I would just like try to not focus on the record part, had like a real setup process where it was like a 3-button thing, and try to stay tuned in to the delivery of the lyrics and the delivery of the
You
verse.
consider like your career really began like 08 era, right?
Yeah, I would say about 08. Like, I got acknowledged in 08 by the music industry.
Right.
Yeah.
But now that we're finally here
Yeah.
with Victory Lap, like, how does it feel?
Man, I feel great finally to get an album out. I feel like I ain't never made a project and thought this is a mixtape. I always went into it as this is an album I'm working on and concepted it like an album. But when it really became time to, okay, this one's gonna get released on a mainstream retail level, my challenge was to make it a step up so that you could hear the difference between my mixtape, Altitude, just musically, and then my album, Altitude. So, you know, that was a challenge for me. And I think I did that. I think when people hear the album, they're gonna be like, yeah, this album hustle, clearly. This is a notched up, more polished, and just everything on a different level. Without going outside of what I do, just like more attention to everything. You know what I mean? And be more critical on each part of the whole product, you know?
Right.
From the mix, from the actual buying. Like I went to Hit Boy house and I recorded a verse for him when I first came off the Crenshaw tour. And I like how my voice sounds so much. I'm like, bro, what mic is that? And then I'm like, and what preamp is that? And what vocal chain is it completely? Write everything down. And he gave it to me. I went out and bought the same vocal chain for this album.
Wow.
Because I'm like, that's how my voices sound.
What was it about it?
It was cutting. It was cutting through the music the way I like to hear it. You know what I'm saying? I don't like the vocal to be muffled.
Your flow kind of cuts through. Like,
Yeah.
it's
Very
you sure it's your style of rap?
Yeah, and if it's not mixed in that direction of being sharp and like, you know, even when I'm in a performance, if I'm in a concert or something, I gotta cut the lows and cut the bass out and raise the mids on it so that it cut through and it'll penetrate. And so just that mic seemed like it's the best for that. You know what I mean?
No, go ahead.
I was saying, being that we've been waiting for this album for so long, like, have you been sitting on material? Like, did you switch up the project, or?
Well, you know what? Some of the records I tucked, you know, well, actually all of them. You know, the way that I picked the songs for the album as I recorded, the ones that I felt was really incredible songs, that was just great records in terms of not like in a fragmented way, where like the verse is so tight that I gotta keep because this verse is fire, or that this beat just dope, or that this hook, you know what I mean? No, the entire song is a great song in terms of what makes a song great.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's different to look at it from trying to make a great song and just trying to make a dope hip hop moment, or like a dope verse, you know?
Yeah, I saw some interview you saying that Lior gave you some advice with that. Like he hates good records because it should be either great or terrible. Like
Right.
good records are confusing.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, he was just like, that's what's wrong with the industry is the good records because they clouding everything and they clogging the space and they're hard to tell the difference between, like, you don't know when you hear a good record, you like it's good qualities in it, but it's not great. So he was like, you know, it's either garbage or it should be great. The good records, get them out the way. You know, you should only aim to make great records. This whole shit is about the great records. And those are the records that should get a chance.
It's funny when you just drop Rap Niggas. At first, I was like, okay, this is cool. But then the more I listen to it, the more I'm listening to it, the more I'm like, you know, and beat out the same reaction. Like, why was that the first statement you feel the right song to put out?
I just feel like this is about what I've learned in this. Is that it's about distinguishing yourself. It's about even in life, it's about the unique things about you. You know what I'm saying? Not the blend in. Not the common denominators. I don't think that's what it's about. It's about expressing the unique qualities of what you are and who you are and actually being loud with it. You know what I'm saying? and
Bold with it.
Yeah, with the unique elements of who you are. That's what makes a person dope. When you come across them, you be like, damn, you know, this is a unique this is a unique flavor. This is a different frequency. And that's how you kind of know they being honest because everybody's different. You know what I'm saying? And so if they are operating in like a type or like a mold, it's because they're not expressing the unique shit about them. So I think as a brand, you know what I mean, to come out on my first record and say this was different about me. These are the things that's different about me. I do own all the rights to all my raps, you know what I'm saying? Literally, you know what I'm saying? And that's distinguishing. That's what separates Nip. You know what I mean? And so I thought that would be the statement to make coming out first. You know what I'm saying?
Even the Hustle in the House, that record you own as well? The rights to that?
Well, retroactive, yeah.
Oh,
we got them back after we got out the Epic deal, yeah.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, once the Epic release, it was a cooling off period that, you know what I mean, that was involved. And that was like 3 years after the deal. Yeah. And so outside of that, you know what I mean, the Bullets 1, 2, 3, Marathon, TMC, Crenshaw, Mailbox Money. You know, that's all indie catalog.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. You become this poster child of independence, and now do the deal with Atlantic, and obviously you're going to get some criticism just because people will be like, what's going on? Like, this is the guy that said, fuck the middleman.
Right.
But you've also said this is a very strategic partnership.
Right.
Like, can you explain what makes this different?
I mean, just first off, just the terms. You know what I'm saying? And just, you know, part of the agreement was that I ain't announced the details of the terms. And so I'm going to keep my word on that part. But just, you know, the terms of it is what I was working for. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so
and waited years to get it, right?
Definitely. You know, and I think that the moment that we did it is the moment that it was deserved. I don't think that even before it, you know what I mean, what I was asking for, I think we still had work to do to demand that type of deal. And that once we finished the album, had Victory Lap done, you know what I'm saying, got to go in there and really, really like
play them the whole album.
Yeah, let him see what the next move is gonna be. That it makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
And also, you were saying like Atlantic gets some criticism. Like, can you talk about what that label, your view of that label? Because on one end, I've heard you say where they've empowered people like T.I., Grand Hustle, these type of things. But then you also hear about the Lupe fiascos that didn't go well, and the idea that they're sort of the pioneers of this 360 deal. Like, you talk about what your view of them was, because you said that's place if you thought about going someplace, you were most attracted to that label, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of reasons. But to answer the first question, you know, Julie came from Def Jam. Kaiser came from Def Jam.
Yes, Julie Greenwald.
Yeah.
Mike Kaiser.
You know what I'm saying? And Craig was a label owner.
Craig Kalman. Big Beat.
Big Beat. Yeah. You know, he did a joint venture with Atlantic. And that's how he entered into the major label system. He became chairman of Atlantic. You know what I'm saying? But he come from an indie, entrepreneurial, you know, ground up, radical against the grain. Even the type of music that Big Beat Records made was untraditional at the time.
You know about that Big Beat catalog,
yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I did my research on the executives and like the options of who I could go be in business with as I was building the leverage. And, you know, they just the authentic execs and the authentic, you know, hip hop, from that side of the
history.
Yeah, you know, just from that role that gets played in terms of just the major label administration, you know, I feel like they lived up to their legend. I don't think that they shit was like industry fluff. You know what I'm saying? Or just like unnecessary praise. They done radical shit. You know what I'm saying? Even like Rockefeller had a joint venture at Def Jam when when Kaiser and Julie was there.
Yep.
Irv and them had their joint venture. Rough Riders and them had their joint venture.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So
Luda, DTP.
Luda and DTP, you know, with Shaka, and then Jason Jeter and T.I. had their joint venture with Julie and Kaiser at Atlantic. You know what I'm saying? So I even knew that, you know, I could point to those deals and be like, you know, y'all do these situations. You know what I mean? These things happen, and y'all have been successful under these terms before. You know what I mean?
But I also seen, like you said, that you never really wanted to be looked at as just underground. Like, how does this deal help you get put more in the mainstream? Is it about like getting you on the radio? Like, what things do you expect them to deliver on, which also justify why this deal is right?
I mean, yeah, I just think that the type of music we make and the type of message and the type of thing that this is should be consumed on the highest level. You know what I mean? And that ain't with no vanity or no arrogance, but I just feel like it deserved to be, you know, doing stadium tours and you know what I mean, topping Billboard. But by no means does the ambition to do those things change the business strategy. You know what I'm saying? So we was always gonna have to force their hand to get to that level. We wasn't gonna fold to get there. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the resistance everybody felt, you know what I mean?
But as an independent, is there like a glass ceiling that you could go so far when it comes to?
Well, nah, I don't think so. We seen Tech Nine go to a level. We seen Chance obviously recently take his thing to way next level. And if you was to just think about an indie ceiling, his is way above an indie ceiling.
Right.
But I also know that what you really just doing is you building an infrastructure, you building an enterprise around your art. So however you go about doing that, you're gonna have to do that to take it to the next level.
Right.
And so that's what it's about, just what is the most strategic way to build your administration and the enterprise around the music.
Right.
And, you know, everybody's shit is different.
Right.
The most valuable thing, obviously, in this age is ownership, because streaming booming. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, being involved in that, you know what I mean? And not just being, not missing that, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's why we stress indie and why it's important to really, really leverage a situation that you don't miss that, because I think it's gonna be bigger than what happened with the CD.
Right.
Just as far as how big.
Yeah, it's crazy how you
music
did the Crenshaw thing, you know, with the radical thing of selling, you know, $100 a CD.
Right.
This is more so before the streaming era really kicked in.
Right,
You know what I
right,
mean?
right.
In terms of what value is. So
Right.
how have you adjusted to how the game is really more about streaming in a sense?
I mean, well, I just paid attention to my TuneCore. You know what I mean? And I seen the back end and what started happening. It used to be iTunes. Like iTunes was the main source. And then you had Rhapsody and these other streams. So when you look at your monthly statement, you'd be like, cool, he made 50 bands on iTunes, or, you know, 7 bands on this platform, 3 bands over here. Now, it's
TuneCore is kicking.
iTunes has dropped for
Right.
like people ain't buying it as much as you'll see your Spotify going crazy, and you'll see your Apple Music going crazy, and
Your titles.
your title is definitely your title's going crazier than both of them. You know what I'm saying? Crazier than both, obviously.
but it's all good.
Yeah, all of them. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
of course.
And so, you know, I'm like, damn, you know, I heard people complaining about streaming, but I think that's because the deal that most artists have with their label happened before streaming kicked in.
Yeah.
So it's undetermined. So it might be some statutory laws that they labels got to follow, but outside of that, it's not really a defined agreement. So I think, as far as the label, whoever doing business with the streaming platforms, they loving it. I'm loving it for my indie stuff.
Right.
That's the best thing happened with streaming, because it's like a classic album now becomes way more valuable. Because how many times you listen to a classic?
Yeah, the way you would have to buy the CD 6 or 7 times.
You don't have to do
losing
that.
it.
Yeah.
Still also there on
Yeah,
your
you
phone.
streaming this album. And think about how many times Elliot might stream his favorite album over the course of your life.
Yeah.
It's gonna end up making more than that $10 that you would have spent, or maybe that $25, $30 if you buy it 3 times because you lose it or break it or something
Yeah.
as a CD. But when the album's getting streamed, you just got it on your playlist.
Yeah.
And when you're in that mood, you play it. And that's another consumption. So the album, if you make a classic piece of music, streaming making it, I think it's gonna be worth way more because you're not ever owning it. You just consuming it.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I thought it was interesting about your business acumen. I remember on the record, Forever on Some Fly Shit, you said you 360 yourself and you exercise control.
yeah.
Like,
yeah.
what do you mean by that?
Yeah, like, 360 myself, put businesses in other categories that was driven by the music, like the clothing and like the agency. And, if we was getting marketing feedback, positive feedback for marketing decisions, well, we should be able to leverage that to offer marketing services as a company. You know what I'm saying? And so, just building businesses around the music thing, just like traditionally a label would monetize around you. You
What
know
you
what I
mean
mean?
by exercise control, though?
I mean, that's kind of like a visceral statement, but I meant like stand at the register. You know what I'm saying? Like, or set the price. You know what I mean? Or count the dough myself. I ain't mean it literally that, but as far as by saying exercise control, like put my hands on the steering wheel.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
But then again, on the No Pressure project, I remember you said, like, when you got your first 7 figures, you admitted to splurging out.
Yeah, for sure. That's just being honest.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think, and that's a mild splurge. You know what I'm saying? That ain't like
What's a mild Nipsey's hustle splurge?
I mean, like you go jewelry shopping, you go car shopping. You know what I'm saying? You gonna go. You might up your restaurant. You know what I'm saying? Level. You know what I mean? You might, but
Too many Nobus?
man,
Fat Burger to Nobu?
You get in the moment, you feeling good. Nah, but just like upgrade your lifestyle a little bit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I think them type of lines is like let you know Nip ain't lying to you because I get all type of you a great businessman and all these things, but to point out I did splurge. You know what I'm saying? I did fuck off some dough. You know what I mean?
You said there's so much made of what businessman you are. Can you break down like how did you become such a good businessman? Like what was it out of necessity? Like what are some of the lessons you learned and why is it so important to have so many different platforms to express?
I mean, I think the best asset I have is I'm a grinder. You know what I mean? I'm dedicated to the lifestyle of going hard every day, and I've been since I was a teenager. So that's in me. We was raised to be grinders. That's what we identify with. And then I get a lot of credit for my team. They give Nip all the credit because I'm the face, but my team different too. Like if you put a camera on the team, you'll see what's going on.
Right.
It's not a regular, the homie sitting around that smoke weed and catch the groupies at the show. That ain't the type of team I got. It's different, you know what I'm saying?
It seems like your brother Black Sam has played a really integral role into the growth of who you are. Like,
Yeah.
When you first, I heard on the record that you guys put your money together to start the store.
Yeah, for sure. I used to have a Lincoln. When I was 19, I had a white Lincoln on Alpinas, you know what I'm saying? And them was like name brand rims.
Was it the Cutlass joint that you
No,
had?
I was after the Cutlass.
Okay.
So, that was like a famous LA car. You know, that white Lincoln on Alpinas. I was, through LA and you knew that car. So everybody would try to buy it. All the niggas I was having work and having weed was trying to buy that car. And I was the only nigga with Alpinas in LA. And my homeboy Hump had the Alpinas on his Monte Carlo. But niggas ain't have Alpinas like that. That was like the BMW rims with the lock and key on them. You couldn't even get to the Loves without unlocking it. It was just some like teenage baller shit. And everybody used to try to buy that car from me. And I was getting girls. I was turned up. So I'm like, I ain't selling this car. This is my look right now. I'm winning in this car.
That mobile.
Yeah. And, I had just reached a level in my grind where I'm like, I was sitting in that parking lot leaning on my Lincoln. And I'm like, yeah, man, I had reached my little adolescent dream that I had for myself, Like, damn, I'm right here. I'm at that level that I was trying to get at as far as just being a teenager. How I saw myself, I was there. And I'm like, I could either go to my next level with this, and that was to like fully pursue what I had my hands in at that time. Or I could fuck with what I've been having an itch to do, which was the music. And at that time, I felt like a star because I was like, my charisma was on 10. I was balling for the first time. I had thousands in my pocket for the first time. I knew how to get money out the streets. You know, I was like, had a reputation. So I was like, you know, I'm a star in my mind. This LA, you feel me? I felt like, you know, I don't gotta change up to be a successful rapper. I just need a camera on me. You know what I'm saying? And I just need to talk about what's going on. I don't have to like put no scoops on it to come up with no persona, no shit like that. It's done.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, this is probably not gonna be too hard if I really fuck with the music. And I'm like, fuck that. I called D-Mac. His son work here at the shop too. That's his son right there. And I called D-Mac. D-Mac was been trying to buy the car from me. He like, man, I'm like, you still want this car, bro? He like, yup. He pulled up right here in a lowrider with a Rouse bag with racks in it and gave me the cash. I gave him the key. And then I went to, I hit my brother, like, I'm about to go buy some equipment. And he like, how much you got? And I told him what I got. He like, all right, I'm gonna match you. I'm gonna meet you up there. So, you know, the amount I had, he put that with me, and we just bought all the equipment. And I was rapping since then.
Yeah. Right.
Was your goal like thinking you were gonna get a record deal and that was gonna change your life like back then?
Man, I'm gonna tell you something. I swear, I read some article about Joel Santana, and he was getting $15,000 a show. I'm like, what? Niggas get $15,000 a show? I'm about to do that. Fuck that. That was my goal. I'm like, I'm gonna get $15,000 and I'm gonna go indie and sell 50,000 units. If I get $8 a CD, yeah, I'm gonna be in the ballpark of $500,000 off my
Nipsey's math is real.
yeah. I'm like, yeah, we could. That's a cool mathematics, you know. And we ain't have no paranoia that came with that hustle. You ain't hear helicopters at night and think they was about to kick your door in. You ain't had to have that paranoia that go with every other hustle that we was involved in.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, that's good math. So I ain't thinking about getting signed to going platinum. I was thinking about I could do 50,000 indie and I could get 15,000 a show. Yeah, that's cracking.
But was it hard to go legit and yet your spot still gets raided by the police and things like that?
Yeah, definitely. I ain't expect that. I was a monkey wrench in the game. I ain't expect, because I was committed. I was sincere I was an artist every day. Even my commitment was influencing my homies to where they was coming to the studio and just taking it serious and being like, fuck that, I'm about to just sit here all day with you and we going broke, but fuck it, we gonna make music, you know? And
So
me and Jay Stone used to drive to the hood and sell smokers fake work so we could buy some weed for the studio. And that's like against the code, you know what I mean? To sell a smoker some fake drugs, but that's how committed we was to the music, you know what I mean? And, you know, it was to avoid spending time outside the studio, because we knew we can hit the block and get dough, but we was trying to avoid breaking the concentration. We was in a vibe. We had like a momentum going musically. So when the police came and raided that spot, yeah, that was a monkey wrench. That fucked me up. And you know, I like backpedal and ended up back, you know, in the grind. And you know, I said it on the cruise show. I'm like, one of my homies, Tony Bodie, see me back out there on a block. We used to have a block in the hood. It was like 50 little homies outside selling work all day. And it was that booming that it'd be 50 niggas come outside with 30 or 40 rocks and everybody get their sack off by 2 o'clock. And when I went back out there, Bodie like, man, your shit flop, bro. You back out here on the block, your album flop. And that shit hit me in the heart. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even think my shit flop, but when he told me that, I'm like, my shit did flop. Because I am back out here swallowing dope when the police hop out. And, you know, that was a rough time, for sure. I was like, I kind of like, I was frustrated with just the return on my energy. I'm like, I gave a lot of sincere energy to the positivity, and I ain't feel like, where did it go? You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So how'd you get it back?
Man, you know, people came into my life at that time that they had seen my commitment to the music before the raid happened, and people tried to, you know, provide a creative space again, because we was really, really, really locked in, and it was like something that the whole area knew, because, you know, me and the crew of artists or the crew of my friends that was doing the music with me, you know, before the music, we was out in the field every day. So for us to be gone from the front line and into the studio, they felt that. So every time we'd leave the studio, we'd come back and play music to the homies, and everybody was like, damn, all right. It was turning into something. It was becoming something everybody was conscious of. So then when it just abruptly stopped because of the raid, other people like Draws reached out and he did his best to put me in the studio and got some equipment set up. Johnny Shipes at that time was trying to help me book studios, but I'm an artist that I gotta be able to. I'm like OCD a little bit, to where I gotta create my space. I had to create my creative space. You know what I mean? To where I can work at a big studio, but I need it for a month. I can't just come. At that time, I hadn't reached the level of discipline to where I could just walk in a room and just, no matter what the environment is, I could just be creative.
Right, reverse.
Yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, what about even here? Because I saw recently, like maybe like a year ago or so, the cops raided this place.
Yeah. They do that when they want to. They try, you know what I'm saying, to come through here.
It seems like you're targeted or something like.
Well, this corner is known for something else than what we're doing on this corner. So it's a transition and it's a learning curve that the police even going through to really accept that some people from over here are doing legitimate business and paying taxes and like doing everything by the book. That's why, even the other day even to this day, I park right there where I'm at. They jumped out on me, the crash police, 4 days ago, and hopped out, let me give me your ID. And I'm telling him, bro,
wow,
you're not gonna find nothing on me. Every time y'all been doing this for how long, bro, you're not gonna find nothing on me. And he took my ID, ran my shit, and he let me go. But I don't take it that personal because they're getting educated also. The police still getting educated to who we are and what our real intentions are. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But shit, I mean, yeah, obviously making great moves. I mean, I remember on Slauson Boy 2, you talked about reaching your goal and having to rearrange your list.
Yeah.
Where's the list at now these days?
Man, I was talking to the homie the other night, and I was just like, we was talking about some way I'll go, and then somebody had said something like, to the point of like, that's too far. Like, yeah, that's too much. And I'm just like, man, nah, don't say that, because every time I write a list, when we get to the end of it, I'll be like, damn, I should have put some more scoops on it. I should have, swung a little further for the fence. So, damn, I lost track of the question.
I'm just saying about your goals.
My goals,
current goal
right
list
now it's like, damn, I got a real specific list too. I wrote the other
Does
day.
Julie Greenwald have it?
You know what? Nah, she don't got the list. Nah. But yeah, it's just about how I want to map out these next projects. That's what I wrote down and what I've been circulating to my team about how I want to go into the next, since like Victory Lap closes out a trilogy, which is the Marathon trilogy, just to be creative with the next moves of what I want to do. I got a clear cut vision of how I want it to go.
Right.
So that's kind of, I just got a music list. I got all type of goals, financial, business. They on autopilot. Everything's set in stone. That's been written down for a while. The music and the career and the creative goals kind of like refresh more frequently,
What was the concept behind the Rap Niggas video? Because you hit different cities on that too. Were you excited the way that came out?
Yeah, I love the way it came out. Yeah, Chucky, well, he go by director known as Sergio. And then my brother put together the treatment for that. And it was just about, two things. Like, I just wanted to introduce a certain energy to the campaign early. And also I wanted to, I feel like make a record that, I feel like, I love when I hear records that only the artist himself could have made. When you hear a certain, like a Snoop record, you like, that, only Snoop Dogg could make that song. Or only Jay could make this type of record. Like, I think like the single off Volume 3, that first single that Primo produced. What's the name of that record? No, off Volume 3.
Volume 3, Primo. So Ghetto?
So Ghetto.
Right.
I think that's a song only Jay-Z can make. You know what I'm saying? That's like, I look at like Rap Niggas like a song like that. Or like DMX, Rough Rider Anthem or something. You know what I'm saying? Or like
signature record.
Yeah, just like even again, not to keep quoting Lior, but I heard him say this in one of y'all, or one of an interview he did. He was like, every artist bleed a record, a certain record. If you cut an artist, they should bleed a record.
Yeah.
Right. So he told Nori, like, what
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Right. And so that's real. I took heed to that too. That's a real way of looking at it.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
But B, I was saying, you touched on that a lot though. You always kind of want to make sure why is it still so important, you think, to differentiate yourself from
because even
colleagues.
Niggas be trying to blend in, man.
But you've been doing that throughout your whole career. Like even on the No Pressure project you released, none of this.
Yeah.
Is that none of this?
Yeah, none of this. Yeah. Yeah.
Like that was one of my favorite joints on there. But it's like you're still making that distinguishing.
You think the
to
audience
like,
doesn't see it sometimes? And that
well, I just want to be clear. I see it. You know what I'm saying? And that, you know, like that's a violation. Don't blend in. Stay in your lane. There's no traffic in your lane. You know what I'm saying? Be honest and stay in your lane.
Right.
Because it's like, you know, it discredit the sacrifices that it take. You know what I'm saying? And it discredit the struggle to just, you know, plop yourself in the ranks with niggas you ain't in the ranks with. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't saying nothing specific, but I just think that in general, you know what I mean? We ain't equal because we make a dope record. We ain't peers because, you know what I'm saying, we got a record deal or we in the rap game or we at the party. We ain't, this shit is different. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know arrogant shit, just like, you know, let's be honest and let's deal with each other in reality. Cause I don't blend in just cause you went to the studio and figured out the beat and got a cool cadence. I don't necessarily agree with niggas cause of the songs they make. I agree with you cause of how you live and how you move and like just what you believe in. So.
But you have but given your character, you do have high profile friendships and relationships. Like, why like someone even like LeBron, like was always showing you a lot of support.
Yeah.
Like, how does that develop, you think?
Man, I think just everybody's conscious of we all in the same generation. So whether we meet each other personally, we all exist in the same realm of influence. You know what I'm saying? So when somebody do something great, we influenced by it or affected by it or inspired by it, you know? So I think like, I don't remember even how me and LeBron linked in. It probably was Karen Civil, you know? Brian a hip hop head, truthfully. And Brian from the hood, he come from a struggle. So I think anybody that is a hip hop head and you come from a struggle, Nip Hustle is gonna be one of your favorite narratives and one of your favorite approaches to hip hop.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that, you know, he fit who I'm speaking to. And then also he's somebody that, you know, to the other elements of what's in the music, like he's been on a marathon and he raised his own personal standards and clearly challenged himself to be better than his environment expected him to be. Yeah. So I think he relate on them levels. And that's my perspective on it. I ain't never asked him, but that's what I think.
Right. Yeah. I saw you a lot of times he debuts a lot of music. He has one of your joints like Blue Laces too.
Yeah, that's a record that's on the album, one of my favorite records on the album. And you know, when he won his first championship, they got a YouTube clip of him on in the locker room with some headphones on. And when he take them off, you could hear what's playing. And Blue Laces 1 is playing. And it's game 6 before he go out, he's getting dressed. He ain't talking to reporters or nothing, he just locked in. And so I just, you know, when I was finishing my album, I'm like, you know, what's dope? I was just thinking about, as a fan of hip hop, what makes albums dope? Like, what made albums dope? I'm like, you know, I love when songs switch up halfway through the song. I remember hearing that on albums like, that's tight. I remember having hidden tracks and being like, that's dope. I remember niggas making part 2s. Like New York State of Mind 2 on I Am.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I look forward to hearing that when I seen the you know, or like a lot of artists did it, but it's like classic hip hop shit to me. So I'm like, I'm gonna go make a Blue Laces 2 on the album. And when I made it, it ended up being one of my favorite records. And then I just remember how LeBron gravitated to Blue Laces 1, so I sent him part 2. And then he blasted it out on IG.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can we get that joint too?
I'll send it to you. We close enough to it. Y'all good. You know, I was gonna bring the laptop and press play.
No,
for
but
y'all
that's the thing. I know you just certain aspects of the album you're trying to keep secret, but I see you so excited about it. You doing listenings and stuff. I've been seeing people trying to sneak little clips of it online.
I seen a review and I'm like, oh, she gotta take that down. She gave her way too much game. She gave her way too much game.
Wow.
Yeah, but honestly, that was part of the promo was to play it for DJs just so they could, you know, start the convo and just hear what's coming.
Right.
And I trusted people, and I just asked them, y'all don't work against me. Y'all was invited because we got love for y'all.
Yeah, just turn up at the record plant or something.
Yeah, right? And we respect y'all opinion. So don't use that against me. That we thought of y'all and included y'all. Don't work against me.
But your fan base is so rabid. Like even like some stuff you may share on IG stories, or your homies share.
Yeah,
they be ripping that, and that lives online.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's good though. That mean that people hungry for the music, and I ain't mad at that. I think that create the story also. It's like a legend. I remember Pac had like Machiavelli 3, Machiavelli 4, Machiavelli 5, Machiavelli 6, and you can only get them at the Slauson Swap Meet.
Yeah.
And I assume that all them songs got recorded in the process of making Machiavelli or making something, but it created a legend around his album.
Yeah, how many of those songs exist?
Yeah, you know what I mean? So that's dope. I ain't mad at that.
Speaking of Pac, you had said something. I think I saw Steve Lobel the other night. You had said something about him that he had one of your first breaks was you being with the Pac's Life Project or something like that?
Yeah. Him and Big Draws put that together, and LT Hutton.
Yeah.
And that was basically, I think LT was like the main producer on the album, and he put.
Who did the Pac movie too, right?
Yeah, exactly. He got a good relationship with their family. Yeah. And so basically, he just was like, I know Nip grinding. I didn't really have a resume at that time to justify it, but he gave me a shot. And a lot of that was based on the relationship he had with Draws and Steve, but then a lot of that also, he was just, seeing us grinding and was just being a real nigga and giving me a shot. Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah.
We talk about the impact of your Bullets Ain't Got No Name series, you know what I'm saying?
Guys, this guy loves Volume 2, man.
Volume 2.
I heard this Volume 2 in the Rap Radar office.
Every time I see Nip, I remind him and tell him how much of an impact.
Crazy the Rap Radar Mansion.
Nah, that's big.
That project, it's a classic, man. And if you don't think so, kill yourself.
B-Dot said that, man. That's fact, you know what
So
I'm
you
saying?
think Volume 2 is way ahead of 1 and 3 according to
just in reception, Volume 2 got the best reception. I felt every reception. Volume 1 was like, it's some potential here.
Yeah.
Volume 2
you
was
said
like,
we was listening to One in the Way. You sound dumb young.
Yeah, I was a kid. I was like, probably 19. You know what I'm saying? 20.
Yeah.
With a lot of them songs. So Volume 2, I feel like I'm like, to me, he got a lane. He found the lane. He found a voice that he could build on. You know what I'm saying?
He's distinctive now.
Yeah.
Like, I had never been to LA prior to that project coming out, and it felt like I was transported to what I thought LA sounded like or looked like. It felt like it was captured in that project.
Right. And that was done at the realest time in my life. You know what I'm saying? Them songs, I'd never been that in the crock pot while I was making music. After that, I became a rapper. So at that time, I was, it was the most critical. So it was a lot of that in the music. It was like everything was going on. You know what I'm saying? So that was bleeding into the music.
So the 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And also, I don't know if it's gonna really work. Anything can happen right now. It's a lot in the air. So the urgency was different too. When I did make it to the studio, it was passion that was bleeding from what went on outside of the studio. You know what I'm saying?
And Volume 3, I guess, was like your victory lap in a sense?
Yeah, Volume 3 was, I didn't want to make another Bullets Ain't Got No Name mixtape. I wanted to make the album. And Hustle Way was for the album. You know what I'm saying? A couple of the other records like Rap Music. I got a song on Volume 3 called Rap Music. That was for the album. Certain records that ended up on Volume 3, I had tucked specifically for the album, but I just was like, if we not putting an album out, my fans, I'm seeing that we built a fan base that want music, so we gotta keep feeding them. You know what I'm saying? So I ended up compiling that. You know what I mean? And it's great records on there. You know what I mean? But I don't think that all the way through I could listen to the whole project consistent all the way through. No, it's some moments on there that was like album moments. Like if you really listen to rap music, listen to what I'm saying and go tap into like the story of what I'm saying. That's a great record, and like Hustle Way is a great record to me. You know
that's the turning point almost that sets up going into the Proud to Pay movement and then the Crenshaw?
Well, Volume 3 came before the marathon, the first marathon. So Volume 3 was the end of the Bullets Ain't Got No Name era, and then we the next project after that was the marathon, and that kind of kicked off a different era of my career,
But when did you first come with the idea of Proud to Pay? But why was that the right move with the Crenshaw project?
Well, if you listen to TMC on the last song, I was like, one of the lyrics was like, they telling me they believe and I got style for days, and when I do drop an album, they'll be proud to pay. You know what I'm saying? So that was a lyric of mine, and that was actually an observation I made. I said, they telling me they believe and I got style for days, and when I do drop an album, they'll be proud to pay. Because I was late on the album, and it got postponed, and I was back on mixtape grind. So I was like, when it finally do happen, it's a ton of people that I won over already, and they gonna stand up, and they gonna be proud to pay for the album when I do give them, a a directive and say, go to the store on this date.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're gonna stand up. So when I was thinking, that was the Marathon Continues. I was like 011. And so Crenshaw came out in 013.
Yeah.
But just the words "proud to pay"
Stuck with you.
stood out to me.
Yeah.
Because that was an original contribution. That was something I came up with. I never heard that in hip hop before. I never heard people might rhyme block with Glock. People might rhyme like back of the back. You know what I'm saying? Or da-da-da. Like, these is rhymes that we share. People have said that before, but I never heard nobody say proud to pay. And that's alliteration. That's P2P. That has some poetic value. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, this ringing to me. It stands out. And so, you know, when I was thinking about rolling out the music for Crenshaw, I was thinking about a lot of things, man. I was like, I had just, you know, the situation with MMG was like public, that there was a offer or that there was a convo, you know, over there.
Forgot about that.
Yeah, and so I was like, you know, that was the biggest thing going, 012, far as like rap music, just a movement, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Ross had, and Meek and Wale and, you know, Stolly and everybody.
But didn't have the West Coast guy.
Right. But
made it,
even outside of that part of it, it was an easy, like,
Oh yeah, there was.
you know, an easy call, like, Nip, that's the biggest
hottest
thing
right
going.
now, yeah.
And so from a fan perspective, I think that everybody was like, that'll be a big move, that'll be epic, right? And then when it didn't happen, I'm like, whatever move I do, it can't just be just a frisbee, throw some music.
It's gotta
out,
feel
because
special.
there was a lot of attention on expecting the MMG deal or expecting to go and do an epic ass announcement. Even Ross included me on the Self-Made tour and all that, and just us like just locking in and building a relationship and just having a convo about what we could do. It was becoming known. Everybody was kind of like, it was on blogs, and it was just like, that's the direction it's gonna go. And so when that didn't happen, it was like, the next move gotta be something, it just gotta make sense. It can't look like that was a bad move, you know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, whatever, it would have been a great move still, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I only bring this up just for clarity on the decision-making process. I don't want the story to be like,
So it
turned
didn't-
down MMG.
Yeah.
Nah, that's garbage and that's whack to even promote that as a story. That ain't the story. The story was just that, you know, that was the thought process in me thinking about how to roll out Crenshaw.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
Why didn't it work out?
well, nah, the main reason was just that, you know, we had committed to doing it a certain way in my team internally, and I think that it would have been selfish for me. I'd have been in a great position as Nip, you know what I'm saying? But I'd have had to build my team value in round two, just because, you know, MMG and the deal would have got credit for taking Nip to whatever level that the next music took me to, rightfully so. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like I had committed that to my team, that whether it happened or not, we was gonna try to do that together. So that's really what I felt like.
You want to kind of step out on
Yeah,
the
you know,
team.
other than that, the offer Rose put on the table was epic. You know what I'm saying? It was the best offer I had received thus far. You know what I'm saying? And it was being in business with a specialist and somebody that I know what he doing, and also just like deal with leadership the right way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was never no like, oh yeah, I'm too this to be over there. It wasn't none of that. It was just I committed to a way of doing it with the team, and I felt like I would be abandoning that commitment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I felt like we were on ground floor with the Crenshaw launch.
Right.
I remember
Definitely.
putting the post together and
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
and even the language of what you said, and
Yeah.
that language. I remember we sent it to Jay-Z, and he read it, and that attracted him to it. Like
Right.
based on the words he had wrote about explaining why you were doing this project, and
Right.
you know, people could look at it like, why is this guy selling 100 CDs for this amount, $100? Like, why does this make sense? And
Right.
you know, what was that feedback for you? Like when you first put it out there?
I mean, just so everybody watching know what happened, I hit Beat Out and I'm like, bro, can you post a link on your website on Rap Radar? You know, and he's like, bro, we don't post links. You know what I mean?
Because it felt more so like an ad. Like it was like an ad.
And he like kept it raw with me, like, nah, we ain't gonna do that. But if you write something about it, about why you charging 100 for clarity, I'll post that. So I'm like, all right, that's fair. You know what I'm saying? That's actually the better move. You know what I mean? And I just typed up something in a text. You know, I sent it to him in a text, and then B-Dot posted it. Y'all posted it, and then you know I got a DM from you, and you was just like, you know, Hov read the statement and you know wanted to just support. You know, so. Yeah, y'all was the conduit. You know, it came through Rap Radar. It came through the post that went up on Rap Radar.
The words you chose, but your words.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And
then he copped 100 of them. Yeah.
What Jay get, 1,000 or 100? 100, yeah, out of $100 each. Yeah, exactly, yeah, man. And
he was on tour at the time, and I think he just hit me up like, "What is this? Like, I want to support, dude. Like, how do I do it?" And
yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, that was big, man. And even like the space we did the pop-up shop at.
Yeah, that was impressive too, right? Yeah.
And thank you. But the dude that owned it called in and he was like, "Yeah, bro, I just got a call from Rock Nation. You know, Jay-Z and them just sent 10 bands, you know, for 100 CDs." Like, okay, cool.
Elliot wasn't
Did that
lying.
galvanize other people to buy the product?
Yeah. Well, I think that whether or not that was the thing that did it, other people did come after Jay and was like, I want to support also. I respect what you're doing. So I don't want to be like they followed after, you know, somebody. But that he was first to support for sure. You know what I'm saying?
On that high level,
and you know how influential Jay is. So his moves definitely influenced everybody.
How much did you end up selling ultimately?
Man, bro, we read up for tour. We sold 1,000 the first day, and then when we did
It's
the
1,000
at
at
$100.
yeah.
How much is that, Nip?
100 racks, yeah. And that just honestly that made me look at the way we rolled it out and the way we engage with our fans totally different. You know, my main thing was just like it's value outside of this traditional mold. Mm-hmm. No matter what
This
they
is validation
say.
of that.
Yeah, this is a fact of life that, you know, I just liquidated 100,000 in one night.
Wow.
I ain't robbed nobody. Nobody feels cheated. Everybody is a fair value proposition.
And the music good.
And the music fire. And I gave it away free to everybody who wasn't tuned in. This is good business. This is not, ain't nothing bad about this.
So up to now, like 1,000 the first day. So up to now, you
You
say
be counting beat out?
because it's like to sell.
He trying to tally us up.
No, I'm not the IRS, so trying to get you ordered.
Get your hand out of Nipsey's pocket.
Oh, money in.
Hey, no, for real. We did pop-up shops in every city on the tour. We did one at Vinny Styles in Brooklyn. We did one in Chicago.
I was there for that one, yeah.
Yeah, we did one in every major city on tour. And, you know, it was real love. People was coming in, like hustlers pulling out 20,000. Like give me 10 of them. You know what I'm saying? Give me 10, that's 1,000.
It was like a statement almost.
Yeah,
right?
it was like a, you know, like salute almost. You know what I mean? And so we ran through boxes, bro. I can't lie. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Can anyone do that?
Yeah, I think so. I think, yeah, I'm not special. You know what I'm saying? I think that it got to be done a way. But I don't even think selling a CD for $100 is what the valuable thing is. I think that the valuable thing is to be creative with how you monetize the connection that the music created.
Yeah.
Because we got trained by tradition on how to monetize the connection. But, you know, there's other people participating in that transaction that didn't have nothing to do with how the connection was made. You feel me? Adele wrote them songs. The producer made that music. The people was going through something that music spoke to them. Mm-hmm. iTunes took 33%. You know what I'm saying? And so if she said www.21.com, you know, she would have mobilized everybody to her own space and been 33% up. Not to say they did anything wrong. I'm just saying the connection was made outside of certain parts of this transaction.
Yeah, but you got to be bold enough also to do that, right? To put yourself out there.
Yeah, and, you know, I had the benefit of not having the pressure of being 10 times platinum on me and not being, you know, just consistently mainstream successful to where I got to live up to a certain sales history. I'm still developing, you know, emerging. I don't got a sales history commercially. I got an indie sales history. But, you know, I didn't have the weight of my own success as much as a person like Adele or somebody might have had, or like anybody in that level that we was thinking about to influence their decisions and just refrain from being so outside the box, you know what I mean?
Then the audacity of you to charge $1,000 for
Yeah.
mailbox.
Yeah, I thought
money.
you were crazy with that one.
Yeah.
Elliot was like, nobody's paying $1,000.
Mailbox money.
Yeah.
So you followed it up. You say I'm doing. So did you think before we get to remember? Did you think Crenshaw's success would then, at that point, give you that leverage to get the proper record deal?
Well,
Or was that your goal? Like, how do we get to Mailbox Money? Like, the success of Crenshaw leads to what in your mind?
man, it was a lot of ways to think about that. You know, like, what do we do next? Do we go, is this the moment to go, you know, sit back down and leverage the situation? My main mental exercise while I was on tour was just, what's the next move? You know what I mean? And I knew they was going back in the studio quick. But I knew I'm like, your value goes up the more you don't sit down at the table when you just work.
So you weren't answering them phone
I ain't
calls.
really
Them
wanna
phone
sit
calls were
down
coming,
like that.
right?
Yeah, I ain't feel like, you know, I was like, you gonna get it cheap because I'm in a rhythm right now. Y'all gonna get it cheap. You know, I don't want to sell. I don't want to open up the phone right now. I want to just keep working. And so, yeah, I just wanted to just utilize all the new resources we was getting off the Crenshaw success to just build the next step, which was the store and the studio we built. And you know, we just went and bought our own studio, full equipment, so we ain't had to go into big spaces no more, and just recorded new music. And then
You felt the most empowered in that sense.
100%. And I was just on a high because, you know, we was it's hard to gauge on a level of like, I don't know, like one of the hottest it's hard to gauge, but we was very relevant off of a move that nobody was involved in but us.
Yeah.
And that it
Direct to
gave me a ton
consumer.
of confidence, you know what I'm saying? It gave me a ton of, you know, boldness for the next move, you know, because I'm like, we ain't, no disrespecting is nothing I'm about to say, none of the companies or nothing, but it just felt like, man, we ain't talk to nobody at Target, nobody at Best Buy, we ain't talk to nobody at radio, we ain't kiss nobody ass, we ain't take no meetings. We was in the studio, came up with an idea and hit the block. And that's what I'm familiar with. I'm comfortable with that. I'm unfamiliar with the finesse and the kissing ass and the everybody play cool and that can influence the performance of, I don't know how that game go. I know that if you go hard and your product's solid, you got the advantage. And so that gave me like, it reminded me of that economy. You know what I'm saying? And so I was really, really comfortable doing that. And so I just really just spent the next year or two like building that.
Yeah.
And I wasn't in a rush to go into the next agreement, or I knew that the next thing to do was drop music, and I had a ton of ideas and I had a ton of things to talk about. So Mailbox Money was that statement at the Crenshaw. And I'm proud of that. You know, even the narrative of that album and just the skits and like what I was trying to say and like the message I was trying to get to like just people, you know what I mean? Is like the high I was on at the Crenshaw worked. I'm like, you know, we should all think like outside the box right now. We should all be aware that we empowered and we can do radical shit right now, you know. So that was my next thing I wanted to say. And after that, I wanted to do Victory Lap. I wanted to go into Victory Lap. I wanted a lot of them songs on Mailbox Money was for Victory Lap, you know, or was made with the intention like Be Here for a While, Overtime, you know, Status Symbol, Killer. A lot of them I made in the mindset of being for Victory Lap. Yeah, I forgot where we was going with it.
No, just the money, the bonus. So that you did roll out Mailbox Money with 1,000.
Oh yeah, with $1,000 price tag on
Yeah.
it. Again, everything was free too, but the proud to pay part.
Yeah,
Because
to enhance
it-
that, because that's
yeah.
your brand. That's your
Yeah, and that's my retail thing I'm doing. Because see, this is what I learned. Everybody in this room trained to a different retail to consume music. She might have Spotify. We all got Tidal, you know, because just based on where we exist, we gonna support Tidal. We gonna, you know what I'm saying? We gonna have a Tidal subscription. And, you know, some other people might be trained to iTunes or Apple Music, but I'm trying to see how many people I could train to Proud to Pay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
And
everybody
empower that core.
Yes, and give them, you know, iTunes has a administration and a model and a strategy. They got editor's choice and top picks and top 10 and John. That's a strategy of how people want to experience music. Even Tidal You know, they got the video section, and they got TV shows and podcasts, and they got a different curated experience. You know what I mean? So as Proud to Pay, as a way to consume the music, you know, as a super fan, I'm looking at it like that. You know what I mean? Like, we're gonna train people that are connected to that degree to exist in this model and to support in this way. And everybody's by choice. That was the tagline. It's by choice, it ain't by force. Because if you're not willing to, it's all good. Yeah. I still want you to experience the music, even if you want it for free. Because as a fan of music, the way I tap in, unless you won me over already, I'm a probably get the bootleg, honestly. Right. Or I'm gonna probably download the free one, right. And then I'm gonna listen. And right there, it's a meritocracy. If your music is good, you're gonna have me, and if it ain't, you're not. Yeah. Right. That's it. That's pure. That's honest. Yeah. And that's what I think streaming and bootlegging created for artists has made the dynamic. Like, you know, you get rewarded for good shit. Yeah. No bait and switch. You can't put the music behind a wall and make the artist buy it first. We gonna hear the music soon as it drop, bro. So if it's garbage, no matter how tight the single is, we're gonna know the first day, you know what I'm saying, it's available, nobody gonna buy it. Right. Whereas, like, a lot of times I bought an album because I just wanted to get to the rest of the music, and they tricked me. It was trash.
So the disappointment, yeah.
Yeah, so
that's being a fan, go through the disappointment.
And I bring that up to say this. It's a reciprocation. When I buy an album, I listen to it free. I do. I consume it for free, guaranteed, unless you already won me over. Very few. It's a core artist that got me. Every time they drop, I support. Outside of that, I'm going to bootleg you first, bro. I'm going to. And if the music fire, I'm going to double back and I'm going to support you.
Right. So what does it say for someone who's, like you said, about 60 people have bought the $1,000 version of it? Like, what is that statement for someone to spend $1,000 for something that they could get for free?
I think that it's a reciprocation. It's them saying, what I'm getting is worth this or more. What I'm getting out of this, and what do we live for? You know what I'm saying? What's more important to us? You know what I mean? Everybody is driven by what fuel? You know what I'm saying? We driven by inspiration. That's what we all are driven by. You know what I'm saying? So the money will pay for inspiration. People pay for drugs to be inspired, to be stimulated. People pay for experiences, you know what I mean, to be inspired. So if you could put that in a bottle, and, you know, the strategy behind your creativity is not getting through institution's parameters like the radio or the, you know, this type of format, is to inspire. If you create a exchange between you and your fans like that, we simplify everything. Right. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's where I'm trying to go. And that's what the Proud to Pay thing is, where even on the album, I ain't got no intentions on the album. My shit is just, I'm trying to make moments that inspire you on every song, and that, you know, you want to experience over and over again. I ain't even thinking in the other mindset. I don't want to, and I don't want to be poisoned or influenced by that, even though I'm in a partnership with a major label. We don't have to. And I think that's why it took so long also, so that we could gamble on my hunches. You know, because I got a proven track record that my hunches have been successful at times. You know what I'm saying?
How hard was it to hammer down? I guess it's gonna be 16 tracks on this final version.
Yeah, 16. Yep.
You said a lot of songs been swapped out through the years. Like, so why was this 16? What was that process like, really finalizing the album?
Man,
How did you not go crazy?
I did go crazy. I'm not even gonna front. I did go crazy in the process of making Victory Lap. I did. You know what I'm saying? I just was an artist, so I ain't restrained. I didn't hold back, and keep my business program intact, or my business bedtime, or my business wake up time, or my business daily program.
A lot of same clothes in the studio,
I didn't
right?
do none of that. I just turned into a pure artist. You know what I mean? And that'll make you crazy. You know what I'm saying? That's why artists turn crazy, because they tap out of the world. They don't live by no structure. You know what I'm saying? That's not healthy. You know what I mean? It's not, even the sun on structure, the earth on structure, the plants on structure. You got to give your plants a certain hour of sun or they're going to die, because they need program. So when you just commit to an artistic pursuit for 3 years,
just get lost in it.
You get lost in it. You know what I'm saying? But this is what I told Atlantic. This is what I told everybody. This is what it's all for. This what the whole shit is built for. It's for you to be able to do that at a moment when people care. You know what I'm saying? And not be so much of a celebrity or so much of a like invested in your success that you scared to do that. And that's what I'm proud of most, that as I'm coming back to reality and I'm back sane again and I'm back in like work, going to sleep at midnight, waking up at 6, working out every day, eating regular again, not smoking a pound of weed every day, to force the creativity out, I'm proud of that. That's like, you know, that's the radical exercise that took place on this project, was like, you know, dive in musically and make the music, or make the energy and the intention of what I'm, the potential, the energy and the intention that I possess, put that into the music. You know what I'm saying? And to answer the question, to how to narrow it down to 16 songs, you know, it had to, this how I explained it. You know, I'm gonna give you an example. All right, I got B-Dot, you a little more familiar with my lyrics than Elliot, you know what I'm saying? So like, all right, so on You See Us off Crenshaw, right? You familiar with that song?
Yeah.
All right, can you describe this moment of the song where you be like, that's the moment right there, that's the climax of the song?
Yes.
Like, if
Now you put me on the spot.
all right, so I'm gonna tell you, because I do concerts, right? Bitch, I'm the man, bitch, I'm the man.
Yeah.
That's the climax of the record, right?
Right.
So you can identify moments in every song where the record climaxes.
Oh,
you
wow.
can identify any, even if you got a great record,
That's true.
you know, you can say right now the moment that the record climaxes. All of us know it because we experienced it. So I listen to my songs, and if it didn't have a moment like that, it wasn't a great record. We had to remove it. And so, you know, every one of the songs on the album, like, to me, Rap Niggas, Jigga with the rollie in the vest, nigga, that's the climax of the record to me. Because it's like, you know, I got a vest on and a rollie on, and it's speaking to an era of Jay being independent. And to me, this in terms of my perception of the record, that's like the climax of Rap Niggas. When like, if you was on the fence about whether you like the song or not, when you hear that line, you be like, all right, cousin is bad, you talking this shit right here. You know what I'm saying? And just the energy of how it came off. And so, you know, on Blue Laces too, I could identify the moment. On the first song on the album, I could identify the moment.
Y'all saying Rap Niggas is track 2. I was gonna ask you what's track 1. I was gonna try to trick you.
Yeah. Nah, you know, it's a statement, you know, and I could identify the moment. You know what I'm saying? It's like a moment.
So there's so much intent in the art.
Yeah.
Like you almost as a live show, you know the part. You almost are creating with this extra level of intent.
Yeah, and it's
execution.
in my instincts now. I'm not, as I'm making it, I'm not, my intention is to be pure and to just be you know, like water. You know what I mean? Be honest, and whatever the feeling is, don't restrict it, say it. When I'm picking my songs, I'm being very I'm intention driven. You know, the standard I'm holding the songs to is where I'm, you know, being real critical and being very, very calculated on what I'm trying to create with the choices of the songs. When I'm making them, I'm just going in. And then, you know, it brought me to a space of where I was kind of shooting, or I was hitting my bullseye more frequently, just because I was exercising. I was just in there every day working. And certain songs, as soon as they done, you know they for the album. Other songs, you gotta let them mature.
Yeah, you said you could sometimes turn a good record into a great one.
Yeah,
If you
definitely.
put more work into it, like
Definitely.
something's missing here.
Man,
You said there was one song you started in 2013.
Yep.
Something like that.
Yep. Honestly, man, I would love to even say the feature right here. This is the Rap Radar podcast.
Oh,
And
man, need that
this is
exclusive, Nip. We
it's
need
too
that,
early, man.
baby.
It's too early, man. But you know, this record got, you know, a very.
We actually, if we guess, do we get the? I think you know who it is. We have a good guess.
Well, I mean, y'all got inside info, so y'all start guessing.
Insider trading?
Yeah, y'all got KC giving y'all a little Killers and Bitch, Steve-O. Nah, but and y'all at Tidal, so y'all didn't play the album up there, so it's you know, just talking in the
I
building.
haven't heard it yet, but
Nah.
I'm excited.
Nah, go ahead.
Nah, so basically one of the songs that got, you know, a very important feature on it, I had the hook since 2013 probably, for real.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And I did the hook and I knew that this message that I'm expressing, or this group of words, belongs on Victory Lap. You know what I'm saying? Now, I ain't write the verses yet. I'm just like, this structure for idea, this hook belongs on the album called
So
Victory.
you didn't even attempt in 2013 to write to it.
Nah. I did actually. I wrote 3 verses, and the first one made it. The other 2 got scrapped. You know what I'm saying? And I just kept the first verse in the hook, in the cut. And I put out projects since then. Mailbox Money came out. Slauson Boy 2 came out. No Pressure came out. that one stayed in the cut. And, you know, all my music team, Lawrence from 1500, Mars, Mike and Keys, Foley, everybody used to be like, you sleeping on that record, bro. I'm like, I'm not sleeping on it. I'm just waiting till I'm in the right energy to write the rest of the song. Because I know what it is. I'm just not there right now to write it. And they snuck the record and sent it to the artist that ended up featuring on it.
Oh, they did it behind your
They
back.
didn't tell me. You know what I'm saying? They just emailed it. And then, you know, I'm at the Pac premiere with my mama and my granny. And I see the artist that, you know, they snuck the song. You know, Speak, what's up, bro? Yeah, send that verse back, nigga. It's coming back. It's shit fire. I'm like, yeah. He like, yeah, it's called, and he say the name of the song.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, that ain't the one I sent. I sent that. He like, no, that's the one I sent.
Oh wow.
So, you know, I'm just like, all right, y'all ain't gonna, if that's the one you fucked with, you wrote a verse to, dope. But that wasn't my strategy or nothing. It was just a combination of people making that record meet his destiny. You know what I'm saying? And then when he laid his verse, I went back in and did my third verse. And
So it was right when he.
yeah. And even in the verse, the it's like a conversation to me. It's like, you know, if an artist was talking to the artist he's featured on the song with.
Yeah.
So I reacted a little bit to what was said. So where it's just a dope record that it was a reason I couldn't write it. You know what I'm saying? For 3 years. I could have. I wrote 3 verses, but it wasn't the song.
I think that's what's most interesting. I hear you also describe the record that it's a collection of stories that kind of define you.
Yeah.
You've put out so much music. Like,
Yep.
how is there still so much you think that
Man, we
hasn't been expressed?
It's just a lot of things that happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you was to set out, like, I'm a become whatever we describe me as. I don't want to be the one to describe what I'm doing. But if we say from a young teenager, like 14, 13, and like I'm gonna set out to do this, describe that distance and think about all the things that would happen. And then
Obstacles and setbacks.
yeah, in the era of, like, I just seen a stat the other day that showed the murders in LA on Instagram. I put it on my gram because from the year 2000, I was 15, to like 2010, I was 25. That was the highest the murder rate was in LA.
History.
In the generation, in our era, like, you know what I'm saying? If you look at the scale, it went down. Like, I'll show you the stat. And so we ain't know that was going on. We just felt it. You know what I'm saying? We felt it outside. It was thousands of murders in LA every year. You know what I'm saying? And so to do what we did in that environment too, you know, we wasn't removed. We wasn't like, I'm removed a little now because I'm successful and I got places to go, but I wasn't removed in between making projects and going to the studio. I was right here. So all of that took place. So it's a lot of stories. I be tripping. Niggas that come home from jail and we'll get to talking. I'll be like, bro, I forgot about that.
Wow.
We almost did life together, bro. You right. I forgot. You know what I'm saying? I don't remember that shit. A lot of that shit, I don't want to be occupied on that all day. I want to think about where we headed. I don't want to reminisce about all of the shit all the time because that shit is a little dark, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, it'll have you in a defensive state of mind, like, this is the world and this how it is, and, you know, it's a choice. You could participate in any one of the frequencies, you know?
And what do you look for in production? Do you have a mindset of what you're looking for? Or do you come in open-minded? Like,
On this one, on Victory Lap, you know, I told Mike and Keys, that's who produced Crenshaw and also produced a lot of Mailbox Money.
Okay.
And 1500 as well. I just told them, like, you know, where I'm going and where I'm at right now, I want a soundtrack for it. You know, I want a soundtrack for my penthouse. I want a soundtrack for my Maybach. I want a soundtrack for my office space. I want the way I feel and think when I walk in here and hop in my car and wake up in my spot and look out the window. Like, I want the music to express the way I feel. I want it to be like, all right, not the specific of a nigga from the streets coming and being successful, but just a pursuit. You know what I'm saying? A long distance pursuit. And at the end of it, you know, embracing your victory. That's how I want the music to sound. You know what I mean? And whatever that feels like for my producers. And so, you know, they went real, like, royal and, like, soulful and, like, you know, it's aggressive and it's strong, but it's also like, you know, like, I don't know the word for it other than
elegant,
royal. Like royal, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like
Regal.
celebratory, you know what I'm saying?
Regal kind of
Yeah,
thing.
so, and it's real musical. I ain't never been this musical with the production. Like, I'm one of the records, a producer named Sap produced. And at the beginning, it was a straight sample and drums with a crazy sample though. That sound, it was like the Arctic Monkey sample, and it was just, I never heard the song, but the way the sample sounded was crazy. And I done that the same day I done the Murder Beat record. You know, it was the same session. So right after we finished that, we done this record, and I just went in again. I was just in the mode, and I just got off. We ain't write the record or nothing. I just went in, and when it was done, it was I'm gonna tell you how long I've been recording this album. Me and YG had a concert the next day in New York at the Best Buy Theater. You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was when me and Yo Gotti did the cover of the Respect magazine together. So just for time frame.
Yeah.
And we was all in New York listening to the record that I had just we like, this is crazy right here. But it was just a sample and the drums, and we was listening to Grinding on My Life. And so we knew these records was going into the Victory Lap sound. Like this is where the album was starting to we could hear songs. And I got back to LA and went back in the studio and was listening to the song, and one of my keyboard players I fuck with, his name is Amir. He produced with Big Sean. He co-produced like 2 or 3 of the last Big Sean records. He a young dude from Philly. He crazy though. He on tour with Big Sean, and he just a crazy musician and producer and just artist. And he came and heard the record. He like, bro, let me fuck with this. And he like my music guru that I tap into. Young dude, he younger than me, but he just musically, he hear it the way I hear it. Like he a hip hop person, but he's a musician. So he don't go straight jazz festival when he play. He keep it rap, you know what I'm saying? And so he like, let me fuck with it. And he opened it up, rearranged it, chopped it up, added music to it. And then Stacey Barth was there, you know, and she a crazy songwriter, artist, and vocalist. And she heard what he was doing, and she started adding vocals to it, and the song just turned into like a completely different record. And the whole frequency of the record just rose. Yeah. And that became, the foundation for what we wanted to do on the rest of the album. Yeah. Just like, make a dope rap record, then listen back and see where we could take it to the next level musically. Yeah. Without when people do that sometimes, they go too far and they lose the rawness of it. It don't be it don't knock, it don't be street no more, it just be overly musical. So I think that became the balance we was trying to aim for, like make it bang and then make it musically next level, and then let my songwriting and lyrics be just raw and cut through in the middle frequency. You know what I'm saying? Let the drums and the bottoms be heavy, let the music be colorful, and let my vocals sit right in the middle.
Right. So how do you stay patient, man? We're not getting this album until, it's fitting because it's LA All-Star Weekend in February.
Yeah.
Like, why was that decision the right decision, and how do you stay patient?
Man, that was a Julie call. I got to keep it running. Julie did what she famous for. We was in the meeting, and, we like, this year, let's go. We ready.
Fourth quarter.
Let's get it, And everybody like, we can, but consider this. All-Star Weekend's in LA next year. Yeah, that's out here. Yeah, fuck all that. We just gonna wait.
But even on Mailbox Money, you talk about I think it's Record Stay Loyal. You talk about like the metric of success. With Victory Lap coming out, what is the metric of success for you at this point?
Man, are you inspired by it? You know what I'm saying? It doesn't inspire you. If it does, we good to go. You know what I'm saying? I know how to make millions. No disrespect, no flex. Outside of a record deal, outside of a radio single. Outside of the whole shit that this has the potential to bring us into. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't like if it don't, it's all over. Nah, man, if it don't inspire you, I'm gonna feel like I failed. If it don't like blow you away musically, I'm gonna feel like I failed. You know what I'm saying? If it don't like, reset the standard of like, like street rap and like rap music, you know what I'm saying? And like, just rapping, I feel like to rap and make a commercial, a successfully commercial product off hip hop, you know what I'm saying? None of the other shit, just off hip hop, you know what I'm saying? We global, everybody's inspired by the culture, everybody's participating in it. So that's my gamble, that we could base it on the laws of this, in the tradition of this. And then modernize it in my way, but that it's if you like hip hop, you'll love this album.
The sound won't be compromised.
Nah, if you like rap, you'll fuck with this album. It's for rap fans. It's for hip hop fans. You know what I'm saying? And I believe that that's the whole world at this point. I believe, and this is my gamble on myself. When I came in, I was like, niggas used to tell me, don't put Rolling 60s in your music. Don't rap about the hood, because it's gonna pigeonhole you. It's gonna restrict you. But my theory was, all right, I'm from right here. I'm from 60th Street since 1992, and from Fifth Ave since 85, and from Crenshaw and Slauson since the middle of the rest of the time. And I'm from right here. I'm from the Rolling 60s. The Rolling 60s is important to LA, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're from LA, you can say yes, you'll know that. LA important to California, right?
Right.
So,
California important to America, right?
Absolutely.
America important to the globe, right? So I'm global. I could keep it all the way me. I ain't gotta taint nothing. I don't have to change the story, be delicate. I could be unapologetic. I ain't gotta peel it back none, because what I just said. And so I feel like right now on another level with hip hop, you know, hip hop, the highest streamed genre, the most influential women in the world deal with what? Who are they involved in, married to, inspired by, whatever?
Yeah.
Hip hop artists. No disrespect, not in a disrespectful way. I'm just from an analytical point of view.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like a scientific point of view. Hip hop is the most influential frequency.
Right.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that if there was a product that was the highest representation of hip hop,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? I believe that'd be the most successful product. And so that's what I tried to do with Victory Lap. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Before we go, one bittersweet element. I know you lost your partner, Fats. Like,
Yeah.
how you dealing with that situation?
You know, that caught me off guard completely. I ain't expect that at all. And the timing was crazy. You know what I'm saying? We've been sitting on everything. We've been just holding our punches just to do it all at once. And you know what I'm saying? We've been all anticipating the moment that we get to enjoy. And it's a little fucked up. It's really fucked up that my partner and my homeboy, you know what I'm saying, ain't on this side of the dimension to experience it with us and you know, benefit from it. And you know, from like I don't want to go too deep into it, you know what I'm saying? That shit, I get emotional.
Nah, I feel you. Respect.
Forget it.
Respect. No.
You know what I'm saying? But like his kids to be proud of him. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Real shit.
Yeah.
No, but you already got the Victory Lap release party planned out, man. It's gonna be a celebration,
All-Star
man.
weekend.
Hope me and Beat Out are invited and shit.
I crashed the party.
You know y'all invited, man. It ain't. We need to do something together.
You can still
too.
be your friends in 2018, Nip?
We got to. You know I ain't going big, man.
Absolutely.
But you know that weekend is something we gonna deliver tons of events around. And I was talking to you yesterday. I think we got to do something together. You know what I'm saying? We got a concert at the Palladium, and we gotta lock in for that weekend for sure.
And how did Proud to Pay? They're still gonna be activated on the album project, but you also got a book coming too, right?
That's the product. That's the Proud to Pay
Okay,
product.
got
That's
you.
the book. And you know what I'm saying? We just announced the link, and that's gonna be something that's gonna be dope to unfold too, because it's a combination of textures that if you ever connected to Nip, you're gonna appreciate, like, you know, handwritten lyrics of certain songs, and you get to see where I was gonna go with the lyrics, and I scratched it out.
Like on the hand.
It's a whole 8 bars that I might have scratched out and then, you know, went elsewhere with it. And other songs that you never heard, that's just verses and just like words from me. And then also just pictures that followed the whole movement for the last 10 years. And then it's another element too that I don't want to fully reveal. I want people to get the book and see it. That's gonna
They've
surprise
got his secrets, man.
people. It's a dope. It's a
Book
dope.
of Nipsey.
Yeah, it's a dope. Like piece of the movement. You know what I mean? Like the marathon is an idea that it first was expressed on music, and then obviously through clothes with the marathon clothing. But then it's an idea that, you know, if you really think about the metaphor of the marathon, when you look at it as like life, it's about endurance. It's about preparing. It's about mentally breaking through your barriers that tell you I can't keep going. Where you know you're more capable of you more capable than you think you are and then you're conscious of. So, you know, a book where that idea is expressed in a book format, you know, that's what the book is, you know, so
that's great.
That'll be something dope, yeah.
Cool.
You never stop, Nip, man.
Nah,
Congrats, brother.
Marathon continue, man.
Yes, sir.
Thank y'all, man. I appreciate y'all been supporters since day one too, so love, thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Man, Nip Hustle, man.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Got Radar Podcast.
Get outta here.
Yeah.
Hey, this the last one of the year, right?
Title.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Woo.
And cut.
Yeah, y'all got a tear on camera. Y'all fucked me up, cuz. Y'all got a nigga shedding tears on camera, cuz. Hey, nah, that's dope, though. Thanks.
All right. Sure.
Beat up.
Yes, sir. Man, I'm looking forward to it.
I like your lyrics references, bro. You know what I'm saying?